Hi, Sephora. At last, having met you, I now know it's not a lady. I do beg your pardon. I hope you didn't have too much of a laugh at my expense. Sorry about that. I made another mistake with a Kim Jones. I thought it was a guy. No, it's a lady. I'm very much a lady, by the way, so even though I've got a deep voice, so don't have to worry about that. Yeah. Anyway, hi, welcome. Hi, Magdalene. Great, spoke to you earlier today. Great to have some Botswana guys joining us. Afternoon, View. I just go over and talk about a gap on a 1 minute. I'm a bit worried about guys trying to trade in a 1 minute chart, but because that's virtually irrelevant. That's for the high speed traders with no costs whatsoever. So, we'll have a look and see what you mean. There's some gaps that will be filled, or a gap between a jump on price opening from a. We'll go into more detail. So if I answer it correctly, we're on the same page as they say. I'll do that half past. Just remember, if you ask me something about WhatsApp during the day and you say, let's discuss the trade room, I'll try and make a note to forget. Just do what you're doing there. Just remind me. $58, call it 2 more minutes, and then we're in business. Hi, Anne-Marie. Yep, I've got it written down here to discuss scalping and timeframes after we've looked at a couple of trades, etc. No problem there. Just to mention, a few guys went in this morning. I don't know if you're on yesterday. Ashley is not going to be with us. He's leaving to go to his own business. So we wished him good luck and a bit of nice farewell for him, etc. He's moved on to whatever. And so that's not the good news. The bad news is coming up. He's stuck with me now, I'm afraid. So sorry about that. Yeah, he's a very good, extremely good presenter, more articulate, and his explanations and his eloquence obviously is far superior to mine. So yeah, sorry to say, yes, he's going. So until I have a replacement to share with me, which hope we're getting in the new year, I'm afraid to say you've got me on a daily basis. There you are. Just so you know what's going on. Right, that's 4 o'clock. You certainly get some excitement life with scalping, my friend. And if that's not exciting enough, trade the Nasdaq with a very small amount of money. Till you go broke, that will certainly give you excitement. Okay, now Leonardo, that's what we want. You start off on exactly the right track. You see what you said there, Gennarfen? My first session, I'm new, but looking forward to it. We don't have to drag that out. He's offering that up, so we know where he stands. We know what he can work with. Everyone learn from that. Excellent. Right. First of all, just a reminder, because we all get in the habits and chat to the experienced guys. We forget, hang on, there's other guys at different areas of knowledge coming in here. Right. First of all, I just want to start on that before I go any further. Rules of the, well, rules of it, forum actually. Rules a bit of a strong word. You can unmute and chat to me. But if you're not chatting and you've got noise in the background, please mute yourself. If you don't, there's background noise, I can mute you all, but it's a nuisance then because, you know, people like to interact verbally. But so just remember, if you're not interacting verbally, just mute yourself so you get background noise. Number 2, as you've already discovered, you've got a chat line post on there. This is not a class, this is a forum where we all join in. I shouldn't really say this here, Roger, but I found a broker where it's almost like trading demo. It's making some petty cash. $4 grand to open a micro on the. Oh, that's no. All that means is extremely high leverage. Worldwide, they're cutting down on that, Mark. Yeah, 500. Well, it's a literal 500. We call a 500 accounts a number 500. You've got to divide the margin into the 100 to get the actual leverage. But there's more margin cutting it out. There's one or two left, but worldwide, because there's too many retail guys, often knowledge, coming on board without understanding the pros and cons of leverage. And as a result, they're getting margin called, trying to trade too big on too small an account, overexposing, that sort of thing. So in the US and Europe, it's supposed to be implemented last year, time goes this year, but of course, getting anything through red tape takes a bit longer. So from a regulator, and we're highly regulated here for purpose. I'm not sure how long these high leverage are going to continue, but I'm just saying. But if you do find a platform with a leverage that suits you, that's what competition's all about. If you're getting the service from ABC that's better than ours, better price than ours, better this than ours, of course you're going to move across. I would the other way around. I'm not blaming you, but if you're happy with the service, you're happy with everything else, might be an idea to stick around. Okay, but that's your choice. But I'm just saying, from regulators, a lot of, have to say, watch it. There's a lot of cowboys out there. Just be careful when you get involved, who you get involved with. Forget all about the blurb, rather look into it properly. Make sure what they promise they actually deliver, which is not always the case, if you know what I'm saying. So no, we know. I mean, if you like Old Mutual more than Liberty or Sunland, that is your choice. That is the most important fact. And that's what comms about. We want you to like Old Mutual if you work for Old Mutual, better than Liberty. So that's where you provide the service. That's where the point is. So of course you can move along on that line. We want to be open and transparent within reason. You know, I'm not saying I've got a date with your wife next week. I'm not going to tell you that. Oh, no, I just said so. No, we're choking apart. You know, we're trying to be transparent here. Yeah. Well, I can safely say that we look at it right. Not saying we're good. Look at it practically. It was a multi-million-pound business. This, believe it or not, it is. No one's going to screw over a few thousand and lose the license, lose the whole business. A lot of guys saying, "I wait for my 100 rand to be paid out, and wait 2 days. Where is it? Are you scamming me?" Believe you me, Mark, guys out there, if I'm going to scam you, it can be for $100. I'm not going to lose my multi-million rand business to try and scam 100 rand. So please, you know, bear in mind, yeah. So anybody paid out, okay, who, why, what, it will be, because that's how you maintain people to come back to you and the word gets around. Okay, everyone's got their price, but before I scam you, my price in around $20-25 million. So if you give me a lottery ticket for $25 million, don't be surprised if I disappear. I might become somewhat dishonest on that level, but not for $100. Trust me. Okay, hope you get my point. Okay, where was I? Forgot what was thread there. I want to point something out there. Oh yeah, the leverage we discussed. Afternoon. What's talking about there? Oh yeah, that's right. New guy there coming on. So this is a forum where we interact with ideas. Hope to have a bit of a joshing. I know Mark. Well, I met him actually, but we get to know each other on the Zoom. And Zeph and Cam, we josh a little bit with each other, and that's a bit of fun. And hope we like a team, if you like, if you get the idea. However, remember, it's not a training class; it's a trading room. So you can join us with absolute pleasure. But I'm not here to teach you different indicators and what a lot size is. That's what you get from the classes. And you need to understand how to operate the platform. The broker does not teach you that. That's for platform trading. Okay, so no good saying, "I like the signal I got, now help me place the trade." No, if you like the signal, it's incumbent upon yourself to know how to load the instrument into your watch list, how to put the new order in, how on the information given to you to work out the volume. We'll give you the information. I always give it risk per 0.01, or if there's a share, I normally give it per 1.0. There's a difference. And it's up to you to look at that signal and work out how many pair to risk and do the basic maths involved. That is your job. I can handle it if a bit of nerves come in, but I don't want to be called out by hundreds of people saying, what volume should I do? Like, you know, how much you got? I've got to now go and check how much you've got and that sort of thing. So this is all about assisting people with our experience so they can learn after a while to fish for themselves. It's not just relying on us. If you want to do that, find someone where you give the money to them to trade And from all accounts, what I've seen, that's not always working out too well. So yeah, hey Mark, so you know what I mean by that. So yeah, so just be on it. We'll help you as much as we can. But common sense thinking and incumbent upon you to do the basics, like have a basic knowledge and know how to operate the platform. This forum is for those who already got that basics and they want to learn the practicalities. And the fact you've joined in and asked, that's fantastic and welcome. Okay, I also want to say, guys, that I do have a QT WhatsApp group. Now, the companies decide a minimum of 2.5, because otherwise, basically, it's not going to work. So 2.5 grand minimum, obviously got more, that's even better, to become a member of that group. Now, to become a member of the group, 2.5 grand, and what do you get in returns? Don't mind you come to it, it's free, by the way. It's your balance, you take it out, do what you like, it's your money. But it's got to have that minimum so you can trade making use of the signals. So I personally, I'm licensed to do this with the FSA to post the signals. Okay, now I'll post the signals on there, and I do daily economic updates, things like that. We've had just one out today, a bit quiet today. We had about half a dozen yesterday, and I've got another one, sorry, 2 today. 4:30 opens, and about half a dozen yesterday, half a dozen the day before. Occasionally get the MT5, but not that often. Mostly it's on my WhatsApp group. We're trying to encourage people to take this seriously and get the funds involved. Right, so shame you haven't got the funds, you're a bit below that. Well, you can still trade, sure, as long as you've got $500 or above. Below that, well, that's up to you, but I don't think you could do yourself any favor. But then you can, just wait for the MT5 to come through, or you can maybe WhatsApp me, I've got a signal. The trouble is that by the time you WhatsApp me, often the ship has sailed and you're too late to join. But just bear in mind, you've got about $500 or $600 in. You're looking, you have to get position size calculated for volumes. You're looking at 0.01. If you've got a 500 highly leveraged account and you go bigger, you're risking margin call. Bottom line is you need knowledge, you need capital, and I'm not going on about it this morning because it's frustrating, and you need the right equipment. Okay, well, moving on. Right, let's start off. Just we'll look at the S&P. So it's done. We go before we go to scalping, etc. S&P 500 went out. It's hovering. We had a bit of fun. Some guys want to go long, some go short. Who was the guy who wanted to go long? Kuda wanted to go long. I want to go short, so we'll see how it works. Now I can say they're much ahead of the game at the moment because it's more or less even Stevens. Okay, it's more or less the same as 4,000. You can see on there. Right, so we can't really declare anyone sort of start teasing each other as yet, but we tease in fun because easily one could be wrong or right. The idea is to get rid of the ego and put on your learning caps. That's the idea. Right, okay, we got a trade idea out for HPQ. That's Packard. There's 2 of them. HPQ is the one we got. HPE, not that one. This one. Right. Why are we thinking of that as 4:30 opening to go for? Very simply put, is because apparently this has been fed to me. I haven't seen myself the report. There's like Meta the other day, there's a layoff, quite a large number of people being laid off. Now, why is that good for the share? I hate to say it, guys, when you work for a company, you costing the company money. Hopefully you're producing a good job to make them money. But the bottom line is the salary bill is often, then not always, but most of the time, the biggest liability or debit on the balance sheet. So if you're getting rid of either like in Meta, when you got rid of 1,000 people, they're well-paid guys in that company. You're talking about R1 billion savings in costs. So obviously they had to jump on the share price. Okay, so it was expecting a jump purely on that. Because if you can see on the daily charts, very much in no man's land, but indecision yesterday, etc. So technically speaking, it's a leave alone. So it's put out the fact that we're expecting a jump. Right, that's great, you say, especially with you guys. Hey, it's nice to have an easy buck. No such thing. We have to wait till 4:30 on the share for opening, and we might miss it. The TP is, what is it now? 31.50. If that news comes in, it opens up there, it's going to be too late to chase. You've got to work it out. Is it worth chasing, or is it a better price and just nothing much happening? Maybe leave it alone, etc. So we have to wait to see on opening whether it's worth going for or not. Just bear that in mind. Never think, oh, fuck, that's going to happen. Can't we get a trade now to make advance of that? The shop is closed, number one. And number two, if it was that easy and that's effing obvious, then who the hell's going to sell it to you? You wouldn't be able to get the product in the first place. You've got to have a willing buyer and a willing seller to make it work. So if you know something and it's not insider trading, and most people know it, especially a beginner, you're a complete beginner, you know it. Believe me, everyone else will know it as well. So nobody's going to sell or buy it off you. Just bear that in mind. Please, I beg of you, get rid of the something for nothing. No brainer. If you want a no brainer, stick your money in the bank at 4 or 5% per year, and you better keep up with inflation. You'll hemorrhage slowly. Hope all clear. Now, yeah, we just covered those two. That's about all for the moment. So I just want to go into scalping. Scalping is basically a quick in and out. That's what high-speed traders do, and that's what we call proprietary traders do. They work for a company, and they don't want to be long in, they're going and out. So we're on a daily, so that's no use to a scalper. So let's go to 15-minute. Let's say it's open now, clearly 8, but let's pretend it's open. So you see a range about that. So they'll scalp it by saying, look at the bottom range, I'm going to buy upwards, and then take it out there. If it comes off, sell it and take it out down there. Short term. The problem is this: you've got to make sure your costs are covered. The prop traders, the high-speed traders, work for the company. They work for Bloomberg, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Alexander Forbes, God knows what else. I'm not sure Alexander Forbes, but you know what I mean. The extremely big boys, and they work for the companies. They don't have the costs involved. So if they make a 1 pip movement, they can pocket it. That's their profit. But you've got to make 2 or 3 profits, 2 or 3 pips profit to cover your costs. So unfortunately, the 1 minute is useless to you. 15 minutes is bordering on pretty useless as well because of costs. That's the problem. So on scalping, you've got to really look at an hour chart. I'm trying something so I'm moving at the moment and like open. Let's do the dollar JPY. That's giving us some. That was doing beautifully earlier on. We're in nice profit now. Look at it. Anyway, 140 seems to be holding. 140. We'll talk 140. Yeah, 141. I thought was all. It's dropped below. So it's giving us some bloody hassle here. Okay, so that's maybe not a good idea. It looks like we're having some problem on the dollar now. I don't know why that's coming off. That was a brilliant trade anyway. Some people might have modified the stop and be kicked out, maybe not. I haven't modified. I still believe in it. Sometimes when I get shafted, we might hang on, but a stop a long way away, back about 139 or 140, sorry. So I hope I'm going to be all right. Okay, I'm trying to find a better example. Let's try, what's this one? NZDJPY, well, that one. Ah, yeah, well, okay, this is not great, not too bad. We've got a 1 hour chart. What's the range? The range is around about 20 pips, make it up to there. Now, you've got about a 30 pip range. You don't really want to be looking anything below that because of costs. You can't look at 5, 10 pip range like the guys I just mentioned because they don't have your costs and they're doing far bigger figures. They'll go now with 100 contracts, not 100 shares, 100 contracts. You get my point? Not 0.01, but 100.0 on the Forex or whatever. Very, very, very large positions. They've got $100 million book or $1 billion book, depending on the situation. They'll go in and they'll say, this is the one, this will be irrelevant. So let's say getting a 20 to get out of it, that goes up by 1. Forget the buy. Forget the sell price. Get at 23, that's where the points come in. They might go to 23.7, 23.5, as they're buying it, goes up to 24, 24.1, and they're out. That's the big boys. Right, you can't do that. So you're going to have to say a wider one, maybe 30 pips, absolute minimum, maybe a little bit, maybe 50 preferably. And you say the overall area, NZDJPY, is in the buy zone, it's the stronger zone. So instead of shorting it down in the range, I'd rather buy the bottom range, take it up. So you go in there and you hopefully come right. And it goes up about that far and it falters here, you take it. It's gone up maybe 20 pips, maybe 3 pips is your cost, you made 17. And then you wait or look for another particular one in the range, something like that. It's basically, you're not long in the market, you're looking at a range, so all you're doing, you're not looking at Fibonacci, trend lines or anything like that. You're making sure you've got your economic calendar handy, make sure not just about to go in with a major economic fundamentals coming out in the next 2 minutes, and then you might get caught with your pants down, or you might get lucky, but that's not the point. Hope that makes sense. So it's a short-term movement, you're taking it as long as you cover costs. You can't do it in a minute because that hasn't covered your costs, you're wasting your time. You've got to remember, as a retail trader, you've got costs where the big boys who work for a company do not. Hope that makes sense. So make sure 30 bearish movement, preferably 30 to 40, 50, and then you can move it and then you're out. The only thing technically to look at is you go to maybe a daily chart or even a 4 hour and make sure if that's in the buy zone, maybe buy the bottom range. If it's in a neutral zone, Buy the bottom, sell the top in the sell zone, maybe sell the rally at the top of the range instead of buying at the bottom of the range. It's the only tip I can give you. But I don't know if that's too quick or made any sense, Anne-Marie. Are you happy with that explanation? Most against common sense, but I hope it makes sense to you. You got that. Thanks, Anne-Marie. Just make sure you got a wide enough to cover your costs. Okay. Don't do it on the NAS. 15 pip costs on the NAS. We can. It's far, far more volatile, but now you can start looking at 100 pip range and not an opening at 4:30. I can just jump and knock you out completely because it's volatility on opening. But if you're doing the NAS, you're looking at minimum, I think probably 50, absolute minimum, preferably slightly bigger range because of volatility. And quite frankly, this might have 3 pips or so. That's about 14, 15 pip costs. Don't forget. Okay. Looking down the line, we hope to work on that, but at the moment we worry about it what it is now. Okay, as the gap, normally have a gap, we haven't got an example of gap here, but sometimes you get a gap where it's open the next day, a slightly higher low as a gap, and often it comes off, it's attracted to that gap. On a minute chart, it's a different ball game for you, Kazi, pronounce it rightly. You might get you might see a gap there on the minute chart on this one. You might get a gap where on a minute it's tiny time frame. So after one was 1618, when you get to 1619, that's going to open. But as it changes over, there might have been a move in the price. So it might change over from there to there, slight gap or slightly down, simply because that 1 minute is such a short time period. As that momentary changes over, the price might open a slight differential. And that's why I give it a slight gap. But otherwise, you're talking about a daily gap, something like that. We haven't got one on here. But let's pretend there's one here. You're thinking of it shorting, it's coming off, you get a confirmation, sell it down. I wouldn't be selling this down, but let's say you are going to sell it down and you see a bit of a gap between the price and this sort of level here, you might highly likely be attracted to that level and get a bounce. So you say, right, look down there, 80 pips is good enough, sell it short and get out there at the gap. If it's the right direction. It's a bad example, this, because it's clearly in the long phrase. So you wouldn't be selling, you'd be buying it, but I'm trying to get the overall idea through. I think it's doing okay. The pound's actually strengthened. There's a little bit of weakness in the dollar at the moment. I haven't looked at it for a while. Yeah, it's below 107, 106.79. So I'm expecting some upside on that one. I wouldn't have joined it myself, but if you're going well, it's going up. If you went long, it should be going up in theory. If you went short, you shouldn't be too happy. But before we get to that, are you happy with the gap explanation? If you're not, we'll come back to it. Good. GBP USD in theory should be going up. Where is it now? Put a shorter term chart so you see more clearly. Yes, we're going up. Dollar's been weakened a bit, but I'm not sure it's going to get 1.21 unless we get a small weakening from dollar. Looks like the dollar is looking a bit on the shady side. So 1.2 is very, very likely on the cards, but I start getting nervous around that extremely round psychological figure. I'm expecting Zeth, a lot of TPs are at 1.2. I'm expecting a lot of guys will be taking profit there, but that means they're selling. It might have a bit of a pullback. But yeah, it's about the dollar more than the pound at the moment. Yeah, but still, I'm glad you did all right. I wouldn't be trading it. Okay, gold is, well, sure, seems to be coming around. Oh, no, it's not sort of coming on. Jumping, look at this, jumping around. Leave it, as I say. Okay. Very different a trade idea on a scalper or some slightly longer term on the information. Okay, it looks like the dollar is not gaining the strength as expected. It looks like more of a profit-taking bounce and be pulling back. Having said that, anything can happen at 9 o'clock on the economic fundamental. The minutes of October are going to be gone through at 9 o'clock tonight, and a stance might come. It's not Powell himself, I think it's one of his fill-ins, a deputy or whatever, might be doing it. But anyway, whatever. If it's the stance is going to continue hawkish, they might get some buyers on the dollar. If they say that interest rates are going to increase percentage likelihood to 50 instead of 75 basis points, you might get some more weakening of the dollar. It's all about interest rates and the likelihood of the December increase, where it's going to be 50 or 75. It's basic. So that I can't call, nobody can. So only thing to say is your belief. I have my own beliefs. I'm not going to mention them here because people work on them. I'm saying you think of what you think, and then you can act it or leave it accordingly. I personally will leave it. 2033, I prefer that, or maybe 2, because it's such a round figure, you might get a ball back. No other reason, because the psychology is a round figure. But I think 1.21 might be pushing your luck a bit. We'll see. But if it doesn't get there, you modify the stock, you should be in business. Okay. Right, that's the only 2 trades got out for the moment. I mentioned time frames. 1 minute is too short to you guys, and the scalping. Anything else you want to go over, or do you want to repeat any of that, or you're not sure of on that side? It's coming up to 1:30, but forget, just remind me 1:30 we'll go over to the NAS and look how the shares are going to do. Be careful of that share, which is the Hewlett Packard one, just in case it doesn't come in as expected. I would never have sent it out, except for the fact that I was informed by head office that they've come up with the fact that some people have been laid off, so it could be along purely on that fundamental expectation. We'll see, but technically it's a leave alone. So, one-click trading is where instead of you double-click to get in or out, one click. Don't advise it. Often, in the heat of the moment, you click by mistake and you're in a trade. Rather have a double click. So, ooh, I made a mistake, double click. But that's for extremely experienced, not high speed, but fast trading, moving quickly. They'll take that responsibility if they click the wrong one and they click it on once and it's in. But I don't advise anybody here unless they're that experienced. And if you're that experienced, you might not be here. You'd be probably too busy trading or trading on other people's behalf, or an analyst somewhere. I don't advise one-click trading to retail players unless you're confident enough you're not going to make a mistake. It's like you press by mistake, your mouse is rising on by mistake, and you click by mistake, and you have to be in the wrong place. You're out in that trade, or you're suddenly in, and it's defaulted 10 instead of 1. You're overexposed. You can get out, but now you've got the costs involved. Rather double clicks to make sure. That's up to you. Yeah, but the one-click story, yeah. So yeah, I strongly advise not to do it, but if you want it, obviously you can. And we're all guilty of that. I've done it even with experience. Hanging around here, chat to somebody, and click by mistake, bang. Hell, I was annoyed. So rather than bang, what shit, get the mouse out the way. Okay. If you are doing it, by the way, just for the thing on the scalping, if you are doing it, it might be an idea to have to right click on the instrument and have the box out the way and ready. So if you want to be out, your mouse is hovering near, not on the close, near. So when it closes, you just go up there, press bang out. Or automatically enter trading in one click, yeah. Out, in, or whatever, yeah. Anyway, I've said my piece, don't want to keep repeating it for your quote. Okay, right. I'm just going to put down again, once I've got a moment or two here, and I'll put a couple of those links in for you. Anybody who's got $2,500 or more in their account and wants to be a member of my QT, what you call it, WhatsApp group for signals, updates, whatever, can join. Here's my WhatsApp. Okay, so but if you do have $2,500, you want to be a member, not a problem there. Please give your full names and real account number. It gets busy, and I don't want to spend half an hour. George who? George what? You know what I mean? And then you forget you got a middle name. I put it in there and it didn't come up. Now what's your real account number? So put it in. My name is John Smith. Real account number 161529, 6-figure number. Bang, and check it out. Find it's there. Put your details in and upload it there, and away we go. Okay. Right. Dollar index. Just do this one quickly for you guys. I've done it already. We'll do it again. Just so you copy and paste it. So you've got no excuse whatever if you haven't got the dollar index. Yields on a 10-year note. I'll copy that and paste. That's important to have as well. That's the interest paid on the 10-year US dollar bond. Okay, copy, paste, and I'll do the economic calendar again once I've added it. It's filtered out, so you can adjust the filter if you don't like it. I filtered out to what I like. If you like it, stick with it. There you are. You don't want reams and reams of information coming through to you, confusing you, that you can't see the wood for the trees. The good ones you miss. All the stuff is no use to you. Keep those. Okay, all got your business size calculator. If you don't have it, you have to have it. Okay, that is not for shares. It's for everything else but 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 shares. And you get that from the live chat in the the technical support. As I say again, I think I'm going to say every single time I come in here, without doubt, the biggest culprit why people lose money, a lot of other reasons as well. This is one of the biggest. They just cannot seem to get the maths on the volumes right. As I say, we had guys going forward at 0.01 or trying to put a 1.0 in as a forward order on a Forex. You've got to get that understanding right. That's when you come to trading, when you're on top of that. And God, it's given us a nightmare. I wish we hadn't touched shares now, because people are just not getting it, which I think is basic arithmetic. So I haven't been shares, but I'm not doing shares, basic arithmetic. Yeah, must get it right. If it says 100 Rand per 5.0, don't put in 0.01 or you'll make 50 cents if you're lucky. Only good thing about it, if it goes pear shaped, you'll only lose about 50 cents. But that's not the point. Right. Okay, don't forget to save your charts if you want to sell happily. Don't forget to save it. That's why we're on here. Time frames, not time frames, you clock. Sorry, templates, and save it. You don't want guys lost their charts with some fat finger, we call it. I don't know if you've got a fat finger or not, but it's not being rude. In the trade, we call it fat finger. Pressing the wrong button, you lose your charts. All you do is go back in the middle, go to templates, and search the one you saved and bang it in there. And then you're up and running. Make sure your charts are set up nicely so you understand them. You want to get to, let's say, GBP, JBY, for example. That's 50, that's no good. Look at the daily. I do mine the daily, and I'm immediately see it's the buy zone, a little bit high. I'm up against resistance. I know the Japanese are a bit weak. Pound's quite strong at the moment. Don't want to buy here. I'm chasing. Move on. That's what information you're getting with a bit of practice, like changing gear. You get my point. It's like should we get after a while? You look at the chart like changing gear. It's all becomes automatic. Bit of practice. If you're too cluttered, you won't see what's going on, and then you'll be more confused than help. Okay, it's just coming up to 4:30 now. So I'm just going to move over to the NAS, see what's happening with the NAS. Look at the shares. 4:30 opening. Again, don't forget, 4:30 opening. On shares, not everything else. Everything else around the clock, except weekends and public holidays. Thanksgiving tomorrow, by the way, in the United States. That's why the jobless claims today, which was worse than expected. So let's see how that opens up. Don't get all this, by the way, guys, at once. You won't. Don't care if you're a genius, you won't. Stick with it, and the Hungarian or Chinese will start to become a language you understand. Practice. Do not, but please, for goodness sake, think you bought something. You can say, I've got a broken cell phone, put in 500 Rand, press a button for some signal, and I'm be in the, I'm in the Bahamas just now. Sorry, my friend, don't spoil the party here, but it's a bit more to it than that. I'd rather be harsh and honest than you're wasting your time trying to drive in the wrong direction. Okay. Right, 15 minutes, not much happening at the moment. This can jump quite a bit. It's been open now for 1 minute, it's only jumped 12 pips. I've seen it jump 100 pips in a couple of minutes. That's why do not touch the NASDAQ unless you've got 4 or 5 grand or more in your account. Otherwise, the movement when it opens can often knock you out. Usually, this is quite quiet. Usually a hell of a lot more volatile than this. Let's have a look at the shares and see how they're open. Start off with the BA. A bit quiet. Baba jumped a little bit. Okay. But it's still in profit. All right. No, what's the other one we're talking about from now? HPQ. What's happening there? It's come off, so leave it. Clearly, the effect on that fundamental didn't occur. That's what, again, you've got to use some sodding common sense. Don't suddenly jump in because the signal said so. You need to think, well, hang on a minute, open up was 4. Let's look at the prices opening. You thought it might miss it jump up, but it's come off a bit. Technically speaking, I'm a little bit wary of buying it here, even though it is in the neutral zone. And I've never really traded HP before. It's very much clearly a tech company. I'd rather be shorting it, actually, short the higher ups. But if a large layoff, it could be a possibility. So in this case, rather leave it. Okay. No, the long wick just means, all the wick means, look at this one here. Look at this one here. It means it opened, get the right way around now. It opened there and it closed there, right? It reached there as the high during that one day, and that was the low. All the wick's saying is as it came off, the buyers were quick to come in, not getting the follow through. We're not getting the follow through of this. You get the idea. So at the moment, it's still actually quite strong from the wick point of view. It means every time it's coming off, the buyers are coming in. They're defending this area. You see my point? So actually, actually a little bit better on that point. I've explained it, but all that's doing forward. Good point. I'll go forward a minute. All that's saying is every time it comes off, the buyers are coming in defending it. So if you're going long, it supports your theory. Hope that makes sense. Forward might turn out to be quite good. Just technically speaking, it's a bit no man's land for me. And yesterday's indecision, look, you know what I mean? A great grant, the buyers are coming in, but not much follow through. Look at that. So technically, I would personally touch it. But if that occurred, where we're getting these, what you call it, employees being laid off, then we couldn't expect a jump. Didn't seem to happen so far. Right, so we'll move on from that. Forward, that's right, forward. It's coming off a little bit. I like it. Got a forward, sorry, got a trade idea come out at 1378. As I mentioned, it's Pierre here. I'm not sure if you're here or not. I said rather get in market. I see some downside there on the daily. Looks like that 200 is being defended. I think you're getting a better price. I see downside on this one. Right. So you should be doing, I don't know what you're doing. I've got stuff in front of me here. You have. You should be slightly doing okay on that one. I'm going to put the stop loss. Let's see how far I can put the stop loss on this one. If you want to join it now, 65, maybe a bit higher than that. Make it 70. Make it just above there, okay? So make it 1471. Well, 1471 minus 3 is 68. So it's 68 cent American per share is your risk. Now you see what I mean? Guy goes 0.01. They're risking 100th of 68 cents. So it's got to go up by, 10 cents to make 1 pip or one brand or whatever. I don't know. But the point is actually it's beyond micro. It's so small. They didn't know that. The maths is correct. So it's 60 cents. What's 60 odd cents? 65 cents. Call it 70 cents. 65. It's about 100. I'm not talking about 65 cents. About 10 rand. Yeah. It's about 10 rand. Is that right? Yeah. It's about 10 rand per share. So 1.0 volume on this is a 10 rand risk. You get it? 1.0 on Forex, you're talking about 30,000 rand risk off the top of my head, depending where the stop loss is. You get the differential. So, yeah. So if you want to short it now, you can. Plus 40 is fine because it's about, when you went in, it's about a 60 cent risk. What's that? About 100 rand? I suppose it was a bit big, 4 grand, but can't be 400. Sorry, 400 rand. Yeah, I suppose it was a little bit, but it's all right. It should be okay. If you're a bit nervous of having that amount, you're doing okay. You can bank 10 of them, let the other 30, or bank 20, let the other 20 run. Because you are, I know, factoring a profit. You're doing all right. And then you said you're going to bung some more bucks in, so I think a 400 rand wouldn't have made you jump off the Eiffel Tower. Okay, right. So maybe it was a bit. Maybe I should have said 20. I don't know. We're not, you're in profit anyway. So if you're happy, run with it. If you're not, maybe pare it down to 20. It's up to you. Right. So anybody want to join this now? If you're in, obviously, that's fair enough. Anyone want to join it now? Nobody. Okay, I will leave it. Okay, KO, that's Coca-Cola. Fair enough, no problem. KO, Coca-Cola is good. Okay, let's go on the negatives now. Not doing too well. Where's the stop? I'm not going to get stopped out now. I think it's about 63. Let's Coca-Cola. We'll manage paperwork. Yes, sorry. Here we are. Right. 61.45, 63 is the T. It's the stop loss. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. You're about $1 down per share at the moment. Hope you got your position size calculator right. But yeah, you're about $1 down, but maybe get some down. Any movement yet down? Let's do the 15, get a better idea. We shall see. That's why you've got volumes, but and you've got equity management in place. If you do lose, which is going to happen, that's a guarantee. It's not going to hurt. On to the next one, which might be doing okay. Okay, that's fine. Well, anyway, so F stop will leave for the moment. I'm just saying, anyone not in want to join it. See, I didn't get any. Come back on that, so I presume you don't. Right. In the use of the share market. Oh yes, OXY. What the hell are we going? 69.27. That was an oil share. We thought we'd have a bounce there. It's come off a little bit, but we're still in profit. About $2.50 in profit. It was up $3 at one stage per share. Remember that. I'm talking about the price itself. Okay, so that's in profit. That's okay. BA is in profit. I think BA is in profit. Yeah. Bubba's bounced a bit, but it's still in a bit of profit. Coca-Cola slightly down. Ford stop is coming right down. Guys who join a bit later. We'll see how it goes. Well, you did, yeah. Got him best stop yesterday. Anyway, whatever. Oh, Oxy, sorry. Yeah. Well, that was based on oil price. The oil pricing bugging around, so it might come off a bit now soon. You're going to be up, but is it going to be sustained? Look at the oil price. In fact, it's a good point. The guys on Oxy might want to think of moving stock. I shouldn't put out to the guys now on my WhatsApp group. Just give me a moment. Sorry, guys, I want to ask you a favor. What I put down there on the group there, suggest modify stop loss or SL on OxyY got to entry. Oil has come off. Is there anything about that people don't understand? Is that makes sense? Is there anything about that you don't understand? Because I can't spend half an hour writing on the thing. This thing's going on. You know what I mean? It just is that complicated? I hope not, because yeah, someone says, "What does that mean?" If it comes off, it means like it's coming off. If you're long, you don't want that to happen. Why some things obvious doesn't always appear to be. Maybe we've been doing it for so long. Well, okay, yeah, but then it confuses them even more. God, it's hard work, Mark. Trust me. You're going to use a little bit of common sense. Okay, but that'll do. Yeah, I don't know where they entered. You know, because they might have entered something like 2 cents below where it is now, and they'll move it without thinking. I wish people would think a little bit. You've got to use a bit of common sense. I don't know everyone individual entry is. All I know is what the signal said. If you got into the signal entry, it's that entry there. Okay, hope that's going to work. Just a second, but I sent to the guys here. To my Botswana friends. Okay, sorted. So I have to share this, guys. I just saw Jack on the WhatsApp. Got the cure for USD CFDs now. Guys, not going 0.01 anymore. I think because he's actually, what he's done is he's tampered a bit to make sure they can't. But that's great. Hallelujah. Okay, Zeph, always great to have you. So if you missed Oxy, never mind. Please don't chase it now. I think it's going to come off. Brent's fallen, as you can see clearly on the chart there. So I just Occidental is an oil company. Anyway, so I'll leave the commissions. I'll leave that to work out for themselves. There you are. Okay, but whatever. If they've done that is to protect themselves, we'll see what happens. Right, let's go back to S&P 500. Anything happening there? Probably jumping now. Whatever's going on. Yep, jumping now. It's all over the place at the moment. I'll be honest with you. I'm not expecting any. That's why I didn't get much out today on the trading signals on the group, because this today is packed with economic fundamentals because of Thanksgiving tomorrow and hangover day on Friday for Thanksgiving oats. So they're open half day on Friday. So and it'll be very thin trading. Like it might be open on Christmas Eve, unless it's a weekend, of course, but it's very thin trading. So yeah, bottom line. Okay, so you've all got your economic calendars that posted it, and then you can see there. If you're not sure what it means, just click on it, and it gives you a bit of a rundown why it's good for that, bad for that, or whatever. So make use of the tools you got. It's all there. Okay. Right. So yeah, that's jumping around. Don't expect me. If we get a trade out today, that will be for you guys. I'll have to say thank you very much. I think we're going to battle. Because I say I'm worried about the 9 o'clock show. Personally, I hate it when these things come up, unless they come up earlier and it's out the way, because it means it really have your hands tied behind your back, because anything can happen. Okay. Good. Right. And having said that, anything else trades we'll look at? Anything else you want to me to cover? Any more explanation? Anne-Marie or Vuyakazi, if I pronounce it properly, anything I've explained you weren't clear of? We've got the time now to do it. So yeah, please ask, and we'll do it. You guys ask. If it can be handled in the trading room, I'll answer it. If it can't, I'll point you hopefully in the right direction where you get more detailed explanation. Anything else? And if I don't know, you know me, guys, like Mark and Zeph. I don't know, I get it wrong. I'm the first to put my hand up, say, help me out, Mark or Zeph, who's gone now, whoever they might know. So yeah, we work this together. We shouldn't ask that. Thanks very much. That was doing so nicely. Now, bloody well, ping me this off. This was doing beautifully earlier on, getting nice into profit. Hey. Now things backed off again. Forget what my stop is. It's about I can't remember, but I know it's in the 104 somewhere. Just hope that 105 holds. Find this a bit strange, this one. I know oil's come off. I know Japanese reported it's good for them, and Canada doesn't like a weak oil price. I get that, but still, I don't know. We'll see anyway. But to enter it now, completely not. Leave the damn thing alone. If you're already in it, get on your knees and put your hands together and do this, because it's. I just hope it's not going to break. So US dollar yen's broken down, just not happy. It was beautifully in profit earlier on. And I expected more for once. I did not modify mine. It might come up and bite. So that's really taken a bang. I'm still in, but I'm not happy with it. I personally think it's not a bad area to enter. In fact, to be honest, guys, we had the FOMC minutes later on at 9 o'clock. I would strongly recommend an entry on this trade. But because of that, I think we're going to risk missing out. Anyone, any comments on that? Anyone want to risk going in now for a long or a short if you want, before the 9 o'clock FOMC minutes, which could weaken or strengthen the dollar? The fact it's come off, I think the big boys are expecting a bit of downside on the dollar, preempting it. That's what they're expecting it. So that, for fundamental reasons, I'm going to leave it. But no fundamentals coming up, to me, this is a good opportunity to buy it. Support there, 10-day moving average. Yeah, absolute classic technical buy for me, but I would leave it for those reasons. Okay. Just being upfront, you're going to get days where it's a bit quiet. You guys, we've had fabulous days. We have days where, hang on, we better just be a little bit careful. And I can't call, when it happens fundamentals, I can't call that. Nobody can. Bear that in mind. And yeah, Mark, you've seen some signals lately, and I think John has, and a few guys there. Just tell the group there, the new guys, be honest, that if you say you're not happy, say so. If you're happy with them, give encouragement. If I say it, I say, well, I would say it. But if you're happy with the service, great. And Mark, you're fairly confident. If you think I'm putting too much guff on there, say so. But bear in mind, some guys need to spread it out quite a bit. But if you're happy with it, please say so. If you're unhappy with, say so, as long as you're on the right side. Yeah, there you are, Mark. There you are, guys. Mark's put out. And he is an independent trader, and he only cost me 10 grand a month to make these comments. No, I'm only kidding. But he's independent, and if you get a few feedback on that, it would help to encourage guys to try and get Tom, whatever, to join the group so they can make some money. I wish, yeah. It might just about pay your electricity bill when you get electricity, that is, eh, Mark? Remember that day you told us your electricity bill and everyone fell off their bloody chair? Good question, Anne-Marie. I think I like it. That's some good ones. Excellent question. I'll confirm tomorrow. There's definitely a morning trading room. There may or may not be an afternoon one tomorrow, because not for any other reason. I know the forest will be open, even though the share market indices will be closed. But because it might be that quiet, it might be a situation where they might not have one tomorrow afternoon. Then I'll just post on the WhatsApp. But I've just got to have clarification tomorrow's meeting. But it's a good point. It has been discussed. Are we going to do tomorrow afternoon or not? Remember, nothing on Friday afternoon. We don't do a Friday afternoon session, but there's definitely going to be a Thursday morning and a Friday morning. Definitely. Okay. Otherwise, Marie, you're fairly new. Are you happy with the WhatsApp group? Are you happy with the trading room and everything else so far? Do you feel it's giving you any benefit? Might not the short term your bank balance, but overall in knowledge and assistance. Is it doing the thing for you? Just need a bit of feedback on that. See, I'm trying to improve and do it right. So I get some feedback and encouragement. It'll help me. You have to send me money. All I ask is send me some encouragement. Yeah, be wary of this at the moment. I'm shorting that. Thanks, Jones. Yeah, I think I'll tell you, this is purely my supposition, Farney and guys. I think the big boys are expecting comments to come out that reinforce a 50%, get it right, a 50 basis points, a 0.5% interest rate hike. 71% was the expectation, where before it was about 80% at 75. Now it's 71 at 50. Hope you understand that, and that's why the big boys are expecting it. If they don't know yet, it could be wrong. Hence that movement. But you're shorting it down, okay? You're a braver man than me, sir. What it was, remember Kipling, Mark? You're a better man than me, Gunga Din. You remember that? Okay. So, yeah. Short, long, I think I'm just going to stand aside. Yeah, you might well be right, but good luck if you are. Look at gold jumping around. The gold should be coming off. No, it's not jumped up. When that happens, these things happen, best to steer clear, because there's a lot of flurry, nervous, big money with different opinions are flying around at the moment. One big boy says sell this, another big boy says buy it, jumps around. Rather retails, let them have their fight between the tanks. We're only carrying spears. We probably better just do that. But yeah, look at my account, you're doing that. Probably taking the stream, probably better not to actually. Just give me a second. Yep, that's not looking pretty, but maybe we get rescued. Got the stop, got the position sizing right. Or biggest emotion would be slightly annoyed. That's it. US dollar, Japanese yen, take a smack. I'm out of the Canadian, hit the stop. What did I do there? Yeah, I've hit Canadian, Japanese, so a bit tighter than I expected. I'm out the Canadian now, so years. I've had about the last 15 trades have been right, so don't expect a few baddies, eh? But my mind, okay, mine must be getting pretty close then. Where's my stop? Mine's at the stop as well. Must have been the same as yours. So yeah, not so pretty. I don't know about you, Farney, Mark, etc., but it was a 50-50 shot. It always seemed to keep coming through. It always seemed to be the opposite. Have you noticed that? So you let's say at half past it's coming out, and you go long on any instrument. Sometimes, but mostly it doesn't. Mostly then it's bad news if you're going long, and good news you're going short. It's just bloody unfair. That should be 50-50, you know what I mean? Flying off. So leave this alone. This is, yeah. Thank God for stops. The guys that trade without stops on the off chance aren't going to be happy. Just flashing the screen from Jark. Look at the dollar wrap your hand. By the way, it might be strengthened more tomorrow. Remember tomorrow's MPC meeting? We're talking about maybe even a dollar interest. Sorry, got that in the brain here. A percentage increase. Not saying it will be. There's talk of it, which might mean add extra cost to your bond, but it might strengthen the rand even further. Oh, absolutely. Many times. We say, well, go figure. Yeah. When this happens, go figure. You can't use your skills. And you can't even gamble, really, because you might go long or short of this, will jump around and you're both wrong. Leave it alone. What I can say, guys, this is absolutely emotional game. Remember, I posted a couple of days or so ago before the weekend about, because I've been going like a stuck pig. Emotion always, 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 always leaves the logic. And I posted a little 5-minute video, some Yankee lady pointing that out. And the emotions are in control. But having on the positive side, thanks for the backup there from Mark, I'm going to try and tabulate over this weekend the trades I've put out on the WhatsApp group and try and get an honest appraisal of the winners and losers. And I'll sort of tell you what they were. But say you get 3-4 bad ones that happen in the same day, doesn't mean it jump out the bloody window. What it means is look back in the previous 10 or 11 or 12. You know, if you had 10 right, you're going to get a couple of wrong. After the last 20 trades you had, we try to work international, not us, but international 2-to-1. So it's 22, that's 3, it's about 7. So 7 should be wrong out of 20. If you find anything less than 7 are wrong, you should be doing okay. I'll publish that if I can remember to do it on the weekend. I put it down my calendar to try and do it, and I'll chat about it on Monday to see how November strike rate has gone on the trade ideas we sent out. Do you know, Celie, that's about the best comment I've heard in a while. Thank you very much. That's brilliant. Do you hear what he said? He's so used to doing okay, so when it doesn't go okay, I start. So we expect a sunny day and a bit of rain. That's how it should be. Fantastic, mate. I like your style. Thanks for that. Put me in a very good mood. Hate it when these things happen, and I get bloody pissed off, to be honest. And that little chirp there's cheered me up. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I mean that. Well, clearly I mean it. Okay, yeah. So that's how confident and well it's been going. See that, new guys? See that post there? He's traumatized by a loss. A lot of people out there traumatized by a win. It doesn't happen very often. They're faffing around without knowing what they're doing. Thank you. And when you see Bloomberg scratching their heads, and remember that's a multi-billion-dollar setup. That Yeah, and then trust me, go with them. Thank you. Appreciate it. I mean that big time. That's a bigger compliment than just saying, oh, yes, it's going well. Well, thanks very much or whatever. Dollar's falling like a bloody 106.60 on the 1 hour. So yeah, steer clear, guys, steer clear. This is not a trend to join. I'm glad you should be doing okay on the dollar yen, I suppose, if you went in there short mark. But you know, go to the loo, come back, and might have changed his bloody mind and just sort of carry on. Big boys playing around, high-speed traders, very, very large volumes, getting in and out, different points of view. Stay clear. You haven't got the ammunition. That's fine, brilliant. Yeah, well, yeah, we would be, because probably not understanding why, where, and what. You know what I'm saying? The trouble is, a lot of guys are coming into this as thinking, we know, so then we can give you winning trades every time. The variables the market can make the best, they don't know. You hear him on Business Day, what's his name? Mark McCurry, what's his name? McCurry, David Shapiro, Wayne McCurry, that's right, David Shapiro. Top guy, very successful, head of wealth creation for private funds, private investor funds, all top CAs, etc. And often they say, stay clear when this happens, we don't know either. But a lot of times it wins, Anne-Marie, stick with it. That's why I will not work with a person unless they have some clue about the plus and minus of the market. Otherwise, inevitably, they're going to be upset about something without understanding why. You didn't believe that, Mark. You're a businessman. Surely you didn't believe that. I hope you're taking the piss there. A completely green, uneducated person, mathematically, maybe. But a person in business, I mean, for goodness sake. How the hell can you do that? It just shows how the power of emotion over rationality. You work all your life in a business and you make 50% a year, you think you've done okay. And suddenly you want to make 500% in a month, or something you know absolutely nothing about. Just shows how emotion clouds the logic. Oh, somebody else. Oh my goodness, a friend. Oh, I see. Okay, I was going to say, anyone in business thinks that. I really shake my head. I said to my brother-in-law, who owns his own business, if I give you 50% a year, what you do is bite your hand off. That's a UK expression that like a dog trying to bite the fantastic bone, it takes your hand with it. It's so excited. Yeah. And then the guys who have absolutely nothing want to make 500% a month. Even if that guy told me, I'm going to tell you right now, guys, buy this product from me, you make 1,000% a month. Come on. Caveat, was it caveat emptor, whatever it is? Buyer beware. I'm talking that kind of rubbish. Yeah. I won't go down that road, but yeah. Well, actually, most of that was on demos, and he was, well, you know, the thing in Boston and Mark, he was running that, and he saw his ass. You get my point. Be careful of these high-flying pundits on Instagram. Be careful. Come to trade them and get the facts. If you don't want to hear them. And I'm doing all right. The guys are falling like Sealy. Thank you very much for doing all right. He's going with his eyes open and his intelligent, rational boots on. Then you will succeed. Another thing, if you make that kind of money, the risks you take are so horrendous. Next month, they'll put it back. If anyone turns around and said, I made 200% last month or 300% last month, assuming it's true, and it can be, trust me, it can be, that means they were in hectic and got it right. Yeah, one guy put in 5 grand and he was so overexposed from the 500 to 1 on the NAS, that was a CPI, and he had to buy it instead of sell it. Got it right. He'd have been margin call over the company, money, whatever, if he'd gone short, because it's so overexposed, went right. He made about 60 grand. So that was, what's that, about 12 times, about 12,000% in literally in half an hour. So yeah, you can make 1,000,000% in 1 second. The lottery price comes in, but it means no. It means if you're making 200-300%, you've overexposed. It'll come back and kick. Rather build it properly, learn how to do it, and build it up properly. And then you're still in the game years later, like myself, and you're sitting pretty and you haven't got all these money worries. I mean, I can't quite afford that luxury yacht in the Bahamas competing with, the Russian billionaires, I'll give you that. But at least, I'm not frigging battling it anymore. And that's what you want. And that is by keeping your feet on the ground and not trying to get from A to B, Cape Town to Joburg in a microsecond. Ain't going to happen. Probably more likely crash. You're driving too fast. Okay. At least he was honest about that, and he said in 2 weeks through. If you double your money in a week, I'd take your money out and do something else, because it's like going to the casino. That's what it is. You're playing like a casino. Red came up 4 times. You double up. What a pleasure. Go back the next day. You put the lot back. That's gambling. Okay, Anne-Marie, you're benefiting. Hope you're getting more confident. You're asking questions. Attend the training room. You're on the group WhatsApp. I know that. And hope it starts coming right. Quiet times like this, we're chatting away, whatever. But that's when you try and avoid the trades, and the good ones will come. You've seen it already. The ones I've put on there, most of them have been okay. Don't forget, modify your stop, because these up and down markets mean you've got to protect yourself. Okay. Well, there you are then. Exactly. That's just common sense. Would you spend good money doing that? No, you'd be taking your wife and kids around the world trip with the QE2 and the King Suite. Yeah. Why would you? Common sense. Yeah. I just want to check some of these shares. Are they jumping around too much? That's doing okay. Bubba's still okay. What's that doing? Start to come right. Good. If you're in that one, Coca-Cola. Look, might get stopped out. No, it's still in. Still in. Might get lucky there. Oxy, is that coming off at all? Might be because of the oil price. Yeah, there we are. So hopefully the guys put the stop in. They won't lose on Oxy. Some of them might even take the profit. That's up to them. That's their choice. Cheers, Charmaine. I doubt we'll list half 5 today anyway. There's not much going on until the big news comes out later. No problem, guys. Anything else? The Netflix one thing, we're out of that one, so that's fine. If you're still in Netflix, I suggest you start moving your stop down and protect. Okay. Most people I know are out. The guys, I think, on my group are out of that at 283, having a nice $10 share profit. The other one, what was on mentioned just now, was Hewlett Packard, HPQ. That's right. HPQ did all right in the end. If you took it, jumping around like a cat in a hot tin roof, but looked like it did okay. So now I think some of the guys jumped in anyway. At least they're making a profit. Okay, Jerry. I hope I'm not too harsh in my honesty on here, but it is meant well so you can benefit. Too many people are too polite and soft soap, and then watch them, and then afterwards they lost all their money and say, "Why the hell didn't you tell me?" Well, I didn't want to be too harsh. I want to be honest. I want you to trust me on that. That this is not an easy buck. Like IT is not an easy buck, eh? Good stuff. Good stuff then, Mark. Great. No, leave it now. Absolutely leave it now. Good question, Pierre. Leave it. Look at that. This is a 1 hour chart. Look at that jumping around. The body is there. All this is indecision. Look at that wick. You couldn't get more indecision if you tried. Okay. If ever you come across a fence sitter, that's a fence sitter. No, leave that alone. Jumping around. In fact, personally, I wouldn't touch anything unless someone like an experience like Mark or whatever wants to suddenly jump in the momentum. Sorry, I'm going on a lot. That's a good point to sort of this. Scalping someone like momentum trading, like he did with the US dollar yen. It's coming off pretty quick. Jump on board, modify your stock quickly, run a bit of momentum, and it turns around and bites. But that, if someone who's basically traded a couple of times before, has some experience rather than getting too cute. Certainly not for beginners. Don't even think about it. Don't start playing around with that sort of level at just your start of your trading journey. This stage, guys, who are new, don't get cute, don't get clever. I think to sit back and see if we can find some more decent trades when the dust has settled tomorrow. Remember, Wednesday has been packed full of fundamentals. That's why I didn't send any trades out except those two share one. Well, share one the reason given the S&P because of that reason. There'll be a lot quiet going to the weekend, so we'll be left alone and we can concentrate more on the trading. Okay. Is it going up now? Well, so anyone's guessed that. We can't say whether one long or short is correct. That's luck of the draw on the fundamental movement. That's just luck of the draw. It's going up. Got lucky. If you come down, I wouldn't have accepted on the fundamentals. I got lucky, the other guy didn't, or vice versa. That's just lucky. And it might suddenly change. Things might change later on and come flying off. In fact, if you were long, I'd start getting that stop modified pretty damn quick. But then if you are in short, hold on, it might come flying off. Okay. PMIs, yeah, but then the jobless was higher than expected, which is bad. There's more people claiming. So that wasn't so great either to balance it. It's just, I'm telling you right now, Mark and company, it's the big boys now expecting a higher percentage likelihood of an interest being curtailed at 0.5% going into next month. That's all that is moving around. But it might not be sustained later on. Leave it alone. Okay. And you're a winner at the moment, come flying off later on. Who knows? Leave it as it is. Yeah, we can piggyback on them, but then you've got to be part of the club. Multi-billion dollar, million dollar computer systems, PhDs, analysts, and then you've got to get the job, and then they're part of the group. And they usually work for people who produce the news. So if you work for Bloomberg, you're getting the news out before you and I get it. You know what I mean? So it's who you know on that basis. In fact, there's a lot of fuss actually, Mark, on it. There's a lot of fuss being made that these guys are, it's almost like insider trading. To get the news first and speak first, it costs a little everything. It's like the swamp. It's actually unfair, but that's how the rich get richer. But yeah, you've got to be invited to that club. Okay. Okay, guys. Any question, you guys? We wrapped up the trades. Joined a bit late, Joan. Don't expect anything more unless you want to ask a couple of questions. We haven't got any trades out at the moment simply because the market is very, very iffy. Our economic fundamentals have come out. It's better if you join on time, actually, if you can. If you're busy, you can't, because then you won't miss some of the stuff. However, a good point. Two things I want to mention. First of all, anybody coming late missed it, they can go to the portal, scroll down to social media at the bottom of the menu, and then click on the YouTube. This is all recorded. I hope that's all clear. And I'll also mention, Pierre mentioned yesterday, a very good point, and respect his loyalty. Spoke to people, not just people like that, say, no, I'm being well looked after, because they mean their account manager. The account manager cannot advise. You have something called FAIS. That's called the Financial Advisory Intermediary Services. The intermediary area is where you can help a person, but you can't give them advice. You can turn around and say, I like stock market, calling it's a good or bad product, if you like, good product or whatever. That's not giving advice. To give advice, you've got to be qualified and registered with the Financial Service Conduct Authority before you're allowed to do it. So those guys cannot say, if you say, should I sell my S&P? Should I close it? Should I get in now? They are not allowed. So if you ask any of the other guys in the company that, they have to pass it through to me. That's why, as I mentioned to Pierre, I phone them up and say, you've got my details. Anything to do with trading, you've got to come to me. You can't, I'm the only one qualified. The others you can't go to. Okay? They can pass on a trade because it's been published. Pass on the trade, they're just forwarding it, no problem. But they cannot give their opinion or advice. So they do their side. If you want to open another account, you're not sure how, don't ask me, go and ask them. They'll help you out. That's their job. Okay. My job is to say, should I modify stop loss? What do you think of getting in the silver or Tesla or stuff like that? You come to me. Hope that's all clear. The differential between the two. Okay. So nobody's sort of trying to take business of the other. No. They can't do some things, and that's what I could do, but I won't do theirs. That's their job. Okay. Very, very important. We spend a lot of money getting our OGP license and getting regulated. We will not chuck it away for that sort of thing. So believe me, if you're not getting your money out, there's probably some problem with your bank, not us, because we ain't going to screw you around. It's not worth it. We're nice guys, but that's not a major reason. We don't want to screw ourselves up either. Okay, hope that's clear. I think you know me by now. I might be allowed. I am what I am, and I think yeah. Hope I'm trying to do is build up a bit of trust on this. Then we can be successful because I'm no brainiac here, so I can do it. You guys can. But cut the crap out. Crap the guy standing in front of the Learjet and the Ferrari, looking like a film star with a girlfriend look like a film star, and you got 50 around your pocket. No, that's not going to happen. You've got to get the stuff right. Dreams are great, but keep them as that. Okay. To elementary arithmetic, come to the trading room. We'll help you. And I don't really get paid. I get paid, I suppose, but I'm not getting paid on you money. So I mean this. I do it because it gives me a kick when you come right. I get decent feedback, and I get things like Seeley saying, "That's so many good ones. I've traumatized one wrong one." That's where I get paid. That's the kind of money I want. That kind of accolade. That's my currency. Okay. Any question, guys? Happy? Any new guys there? Still there thinking, well, I'm a bit confused. Well, we'll be confused the first few times, but feel that they can progress? I'll bet you are, yeah. Still falling. That's start to jump a bit. Yeah, 140 support, yeah. Round figure, I think. Not quite, went below. So rapid, she shot through that. It looks like the 140 might be holding. Good stuff, Yanis. Yeah. I can't even give you advice now, but I can do. I'm allowed to legally, because I think I might say I'd get out now. If I was, I probably personally would. If I was courageous enough to take that short, get a bit nervous. But the thing that might hold me up is I might put the stop down there because the sales are already coming in on the 1 hour. I might think, well, hang on, it might come off again. Might probably put the stop there just in case. That's up to you. When it jumps around like that, it's just luck of the draw. You put your stop there, jump, stop you out, and then you wish the hell you got out here. You know what I mean? That's a fun call. Jamal, sorry, I'm not suggesting it's a great trade idea, but I have to say, in all honesty, Mark, then it's a bad idea. I think the expectation, we haven't got the facts out yet till 9. I think it's overcooked. I think we could get a bounce. And remember, there's a lot of big guys there. The big guys are big positions, and when they profit take, shorts, remember when you sell short, you don't sell to get out, you buy to exit. Be a large amount of guys taking profit on that move down there, saying, my God, it's going up again. Out they're going with very, very large positions. So what are you getting the bounce? As long as you get the concept, the whole concept, what is behind it, makes more clarity in your trading. I have to say, in all honesty, guys, people like Mark really, really do actually assist me. Don't ask me money, I ain't going to send it to you. Try and send you a decent trade, get it. But it really helps because you bring out a third party to help the other people. It's not just me saying it. Other guys are doing it as well. They're saying it. So maybe it might be something of what we're talking about here. Get rid of the social media dribble there. Well, I'm doing that. I'm getting a lot of feedback from guys saying, thanks very much, Roger. Helping the guys trade successfully, and they're getting some IB increase on it. So that's the idea. So, yeah. The only thing that spoiled their days that said that now they've got to split it with me. And then suddenly the phone calls stop coming through. Hey, I'm obviously kidding. I'm doing all right. I do trades everything, so don't worry about me. I'm doing all right. I get a kick when I see people do okay. Thanks, Pierre. Thank you very much. If you go bad in the next couple of days, I might get another buddy. But that's so. Spread scoop means scalp. Let's have a look. Yeah. Respect this Mark, is what I'm saying, Pierre. It does some funny things. Ask Mark, ask Zeph, ask anybody that traded for a month or two or longer. Yeah, see what I mean? It's sort of hit the 120. You 120 there, you might have got that because Zeph's left. Looks like it is TP, eh? Hey, it is TP, brilliant. Okay, looks like it might be coming off. I wouldn't touch it now. I wouldn't scalp it. I wouldn't do anything to it. Might come off, might go off. I can't make that call. It's too erratic with too many fundies coming out. This is gambling now. This is pure gambling if you want to go for it now. And if you want to do that, don't do it here. Go to the casino, sit in luxury and have a bit of a laugh over a drink there. And keep the sense of humor up here. You'll need it in this business, I tell you, especially when things say go figure. When they're going to go figure land, I like expression, American expression, go figure. If it goes to go figure land, you need to keep your sense of humor. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to duck as well. Hope you're all okay. I'll get a decent session 9 o'clock tomorrow, getting all these fundies, and then maybe get half a dozen trades out, as we often do. Okay, guys, fantastic. Go well. And yeah, hopefully I can see most of you again tomorrow. And those who's new, stick with it and hope you learned and hope you gained value. Okay, guys, cheers. Oh, sorry about that. The bloody video is on. The video on all the time. I forgot to switch it on. Beg your pardon.